from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
The father of the man accused of killing Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn baby. The latest on Ramon Preciado, who bonded out yesterday.
And family members of those laid to rest in San Fernando Cemetery, angry after finding tracks over their loved ones' graves. What they want done to prevent this right now at 9.
And it is a very damp and cold start to this Saturday. Keeping very close eyes on the roadways. We'll get you a full look at that weekend forecast in a few.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m., 33 degrees, so we're not freezing this morning. I know parts of the northern viewing area are, and we've had some dampness on the roads, but there's not this huge icing event happening inside San Antonio.
Correct. San Antonio proper, it's just soggy.
I'm wondering when the sun will come out to kind of dry us out, if it will.
Tomorrow afternoon is when we'll finally see the sun. You've got to stick with the cloud cover today, which is going to keep us pretty chilly out there. But we will finally start to see the sun peek through Sunday afternoon, and it returns in full force by early next week. Check at your temperatures. Helotes now up to 33, so we're gradually starting to see these temperatures warm. Northern Bexar County and points north, even out east, Seguin and Nixon, still at 32. This is where we're holding on to a few of those sub-freezing temperatures, or right at freezing, and that's also the area that we've been keeping close tabs on the roadways. Really, it's those bridges and overpasses, especially untreated bridges and overpasses, that could be seeing a few issues when it comes to isolated instances of some light ice this morning, perhaps even a light glaze on exposed surfaces in these areas. This pink's still a little bit of light freezing drizzle, northern Bexar County over into Comal County, even along I-35 in a few locations. Mailboxes, street signs, things like that, some bushes could see a little bit of ice accumulation, but for the most part here in San Antonio and much of south central Texas, it is just damp and soggy. So still give yourself some extra time to get to where you need to be. Chilly this afternoon, conditions starting to improve, and then yes, warmer by tomorrow. We'll get you a full look at that forecast in just a few.
Mia, thank you. And like she said, roads are wet this morning, and those conditions can be dangerous for drivers. Now add potential freezing temps in our northern parts. Can make it even worse.
Yeah, our Devin Karp is on Highway 281 north of 1604, where crews have been reporting some road problems. Devin, how's it looking out there?
Hey, good morning, guys. Things are looking okay out over here. Now, I want to direct your attention over here. This is on a small overpass area on 281 South, kind of near the Bulverde area that's headed back into San Antonio. As you can see right there, that is one of these trucks that is working to treat some of the roads and overpasses over here with a little bit of brine, because some of this area, there are signs from TxDOT saying be aware for any incidences of isolated ice over here on the north side. Now, this is over 281, 1604 area, closer to Bulverde. As you can oversee over here, some of these driving conditions not ideal. This over ramp right here was closed off for a bit, where we just saw this accident get cleared, thankfully. So if you're headed out this morning, make sure that you're just keeping an eye on some of these roadways. You're staying safe out here, making sure that wherever you are headed out, you're keeping a good eye on some of the people up and around you on the roads, because that's really going to be key, is making sure that those drivers around you are staying just as safe and aware as you are over here. So it does look like this accident is in the clearing stages over here. We did just watch one car go over this way, so we're still going to be keeping an eye on some of these roads over here on the north side of San Antonio, making sure these conditions are okay for drivers to get on. But if you're headed out this morning, again, just make sure you're giving yourself extra time to get to your destination. You're making sure that you're keeping space between other drivers, and you should hopefully be able to get to some of your destinations okay. We'll be out here for the rest of the morning on GMSA, but for now, again, I'll send it back to you all in the station. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Devin. New this morning, a woman is in the hospital after a shooting between two cars on the west side. Now, take a look. This happened just before midnight last night, and San Antonio police say this started on Culebra Road when people in two cars started shooting at each other. As they came near a home on Bradford Avenue, a woman was shot while standing in her garage. The driver sped away, and the woman was taken to the hospital in stable condition. It is not clear, though, if this woman was connected to the people in the two cars. Police are looking for those suspects this morning.
And this morning, the father of the man accused of the murders of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child is out of Bexar County Jail. Ramon Preciado bonded out of jail yesterday. Court records show his bail was set at $450,000. His son, Christopher Preciado, is accused of shooting and killing the couple in what court records show was a drug deal that didn't go as planned. So Ramon and his wife, Mierta Romanos, helped move the bodies allegedly, and Ramon faces charges of abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. So the families of the victims say they're shocked and frustrated that Preciado is now out of jail. Believe he was bonded out at $45,000 since his bond was $450,000. We'll continue to follow this case on air and online at KSAT.com.
Neglected and now violated. That is how families with loved ones at the San Fernando Cemetery No. 2 on Castroville Road feel after seeing tire marks stretched across dozens of graves. You could see some of that on our video. The Archdiocese of San Antonio manages the cemetery. In an email, a spokesperson confirmed they were made aware of the video by calls from the community this week. They also told us they made a report with San Antonio Police, and police says the management there told them that no damage was done to the grave sites. Families are not happy with that response. They want answers and accountability.
It's really appalling. It's sickening to know that somebody would come and do this to the graves, to our loved ones.
This family is asking the Archdiocese to add security cameras to the cemetery in response.
So if you received a text message recently asking for money for unpaid tolls, heads up, the Federal Trade Commission says that is a scam. The text includes a link that takes you to a website where you can enter either your bank or credit card information. The FTC says not only could scammers steal your money, but also your personal information. If you get this text message like this that you're seeing on your screen, don't click on it or any links with it. Just check to see if the message is legit by reaching out directly to the tolling agency. And closer to home, the measles outbreak in West Texas continues to grow. Now at 90 cases, 16 people have been hospitalized. Health officials say most of those affected are unvaccinated. So measles is an airborne disease that can cause a rash, fever, cough, runny nose, and watery eyes. In Gaines County, where West Texas outbreak is concentrated, it has a vaccine rate of 82%. The measles vaccine rate here in Bexar County is 94%.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is asking the NCAA to begin gender testing as part of their new transgender policy. This week, he updated a lawsuit he filed back in December. In the new filing, he states this move will prevent the NCAA from, quote, falsely and deceptively claiming that only biological women may participate in competitions. Earlier this month, the NCAA announced the changes in their transgender student athletes policy. Now, they say athletes assigned as a female at birth are now only allowed to compete, but the policy will allow transgender athletes to practice with the women's teams and receive medical care.
Pride Center San Antonio is taking action to support the LGBTQ plus community, particularly in response to the rhetoric against transgender individuals. So Sydney Varner from the center says they're focused on providing resources and a safe space for those navigating challenges.
We know that this is a very stressful time and there's a lot of ambiguity about what's going on. And so in the midst of all of this, we are making sure that we are continuing to host informational sessions. We're continuing to make sure that we get any new information out there to the public that we can.
Center is also dedicated to helping younger people manage anxiety and uncertainty through various youth programs and conferences throughout the year. For more information, you can find this story on our website, ksat.com/South Texas Pride.
All right, we're going to say good morning to our friends out there in Stone Oak. The time right now, 39:09, and it's 33 degrees out there.
Bringing the fragrances of Trinidad, the people of Bernie will introduce you to Amala Thorne, the owner of Island Turmeric, in just a bit.
And as we take a look outside with live cam, very damp and cold start to this Saturday. When the sunshine returns and when we start to warm up, we'll tell you after the break.
Hey there, welcome back. It is 9:12, 33 degrees. It's been at 33 for a while.
It has.
It's not warming up out there.
At least it's 33 and not like 30.
Well, it was 32 earlier.
We briefly hit 32 over at SA International. Good news is it was very brief.
Okay.
Here in much of San Antonio, it's just damp out there. We do have some isolated instances of ice that's been reported, mainly north of San Antonio, up into the hill country, along 281, some of those untreated bridges and overpasses, and that's what we'll be monitoring this morning. Still very, very chilly out there into the afternoon, a high temperature near 40 degrees. That's it in the Alamo City. The cloud cover is sticking around as well. However, we'll start to see changes work in by tomorrow. It is still going to be a chilly start, but not quite as cold as what we've seen this morning. Right around 40 degrees by this time Sunday. More sunshine taking back over into the afternoon. That's going to help highs climb into the 60s. And then even warmer conditions return as we look ahead to the upcoming work week. But of course, before we can get there, the big story this weekend, yes, those conditions out there, and even some light glazing, a little bit of a light ice that's been reported on elevated surfaces, exposed surfaces. So we're talking cars. You can see this is sent in from the Nixon area. The caption here, there isn't any ice on the ground, but watch out for icy patches in other areas. A few icicles out there in the truck bed. Mailboxes, street signs, things like that could see a little bit of a light glazing where temperatures have been at or just below 32 degrees this morning. They are gradually starting to warm, now up to 36 over at Stinson, Port SA, 34 in New Braunfels, 34 as well over in Converse. It's still 32 in Seguin. For the most part, though, this is just very light, patchy, liquid drizzle falling east of I-35. Still potentially a little bit of freezing drizzle, Timberwood Park, Leon Springs, near the Bernie area, Bulverde and Canyon Lake, where temperatures are near 32. However, by 10 o'clock this morning, really over the next hour, I think for most of us will be above freezing. Still a few isolated light liquid showers possible east of I-35 into this afternoon, into the early evening, Lavaca County, Gonzales County, DeWitt County. That'll be the best area that has the highest chance of finding a little bit more light rain before the day is done. That is going to clear the area by 7 a.m. tomorrow, still holding on to the cloud cover to kickstart your Sunday. But more sunshine returning into the afternoon. That's going to help those temperatures warm up into the 60s. Meanwhile, today, much different story. You're going to need the coat from start to finish. 39 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. 40 degrees, your forecast high temperature, and even into this evening with those cloudy skies really holding on. Temperatures are not going to budge a whole much. So upper 30s, low 40s to kickstart the day. If you're missing the sunshine, if you're missing the spring-like warmth, good news, that's headed our way into next week. 74 by Monday, near 80 by Tuesday and Wednesday. Another cool front looks to work in ahead of the second half of the week. Of course, this one not going to impact our temperatures nearly as much as what we've seen with these past few fronts. So I think it's safe to say this round, the coldest air that we'll see for the rest of the winter season. Still, a few more cool fronts possible here and there into early March.
Notice she didn't say the last freeze, because we can get a freeze in March.
We can. We definitely have seen that from time to time. I don't think it's going to be as cold as what we've seen the past couple of days, but still, we're not out of the woods just yet, I guess is how we should phrase it.
Thank you, Mia.
Thank you. Time right now, 9:16, 33 degrees out there.
A Trinidadian woman who knows her spices, helping the people of Bernie smell their best. We're going to meet her next. In honor of Black History Month, we are highlighting business owners who are bringing a unique touch to customers with their service.
So let's take you to Bernie to see how a woman from Trinidad is putting her roots to work.
You don't need a lot of the roots. It's a tiny little bit, because it's so strong.
Does it have
but
a smell?
You have to be careful. Yeah, it's very earthy. It's earthy, where ginger is more spicy.
Yes, I see the difference.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a more earthy, and that one is spicy. So yeah, I put all these things in my soup.
Amala Thorne learned early on from her grandmother about the wide use of spices and roots.
She died when I was approximately 9 years old. And she had a lot of knowledge on, healing plants, remedies for health and wellness.
Her favorite is turmeric. It's why this immigrant from the Caribbean named her business after the spice.
So turmeric has like a lot of antioxidants. It gives you a youthful glow. It helps to even your skin tone. It's good for dark spots, age spots. Really good for acne, psoriasis, eczema, like a lot of skin conditions. It even tightens your pores, the antioxidants.
Island Turmeric Soaps and Balms was born in Trinidad. When Thorne moved to the U.S., her creation took a break as she learned how to navigate life in a new country.
Yes, slowly, gradually, I started going to like farmers markets.
That's where most of her customers look for her. She's very proud of the natural ingredients she uses, some prepared and shipped from back home.
I tell people, you have to be careful what you put on your skin, Our skin is like the largest organ in our body.
Success has given her the opportunity to focus on her passion full-time and gives her flexibility.
It's not always easy in business. So I have had my ups and my downs, sometimes business, it fluctuates. Definitely don't give up.
She has a big vision to grow her business beyond her home kitchen.
I know I definitely have a multi-million-dollar company on my hands.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, so she is at the Birdie Farmers Market, but her products are also in other farmers market. And of course, we have a link on our website to check out her business online.
And you were saying the balm actually works. You worked on your elbow?
I mean, my elbow hurt. I put it on for a few days. It doesn't hurt anymore. You got to try it for yourself. If it continues to do that.
Your husband used it for migraines?
He's preventing migraines.
That's incredible.
I don't know. We're still in the experimental phase, but
check her out.
I don't know. She's not paying me for this.
Thanks, Patty. It's 9:22, 33 degrees. We'll be right. All right, today at 10 a.m., right after our show, a new episode of Texas Eats, David Elder heads out to an iconic restaurant serving up supersized tacos.
How big? This big?
Pretty
I don't
big.
know. Sounds good, though. Let's check it out.
All right, Desi, now we're out here in the dining room area. Right behind us is the bar, and we got some great drinks from behind the bar right here. But this is the reason for the season right here. We got a whole load of seafood boiled goodness in front of us, and we got a little bit of shrimp. I see some crab and veggies. What's the name of this one here?
This is a Mr. Krabby's boil combined with our weekend special.
And my favorite, you gotta have it. It's the king crab leg. This looks great. You ready to crack in and get some?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what's the flavor of the sauce that's in this one?
So Mr. Krabby's is a combination of all of our seasonings combined into one. We get our seasonings straight from Louisiana, and the owner actually hand mixes it to make a really unique, delicious flavor.
I love it. Here, cheers to you. The king crab with the Krabby's mix on there.
Saying we like crab, we just don't like all the work.
Yes.
Someone can do it for me, and then I can just dip it in butter.
It might be a little more to pay for it, but I'll do that better.
9:27, 33 degrees, still ahead on GMSA. A traffic stop by Texas DPS escalating into a call to ICE. Why the department says they're stepping up their enforcement. That's next.
And in our next episode of Know My Neighborhood, we are headed out to Stone Oak. Find out what we'll be highlighting in this unique community next.
It's 9:30 on your Saturday. 33 degrees. Patty, I know you want it. Your kids and your husband, they're supposed to go camping so you could have a day to yourself. She's got 3 boys, bless her heart, at home.
I've been checking the forecast all week.
You're like,
leading up to, it's not raining up there. There's no drizzle up there where they're going.
She's asking Mia some very specific questions.
All morning long. So what about now? Is it still drizzling? Is it still cold?
It's still misting out there.
Maybe, probably not the best camping weather.
I tried.
You tried, that's right. Hey, for them staying here, for you going out, you're gonna want the coat, okay? It is very, very cold, and it is still damp and soggy this morning. You can see that just looking outside. Very dreary start to this Saturday. Temperatures above freezing, barely, but they are here in San Antonio. 33, 34 over in New Braunfels. It's now up to 34 in Kerrville. Still holding on steady right at 32 for places like Seguin and Bernie. So we have been monitoring with some of this freezing drizzle that is starting to let up, especially north of 1604 here in Bexar County, up I-10 into Bernie. Still a little bit of that. We've seen some isolated instances, very light icing on untreated bridges and overpasses this morning. Here in San Antonio, no ice. It's just very damp, soggy, and wet. So you will want to give yourself some extra time to get to where you need to be out the door for Saturday morning plans. But a lot of this, again, where temperatures are just at or slightly below 32, this is going to be transitioning to just cold liquid drizzle here over the next couple of hours as temperatures gradually start to warm. They're not going to warm a whole lot this afternoon. 40 degrees, our forecast high temperature. Right around 4 to 5 o'clock later on, and then temperatures this evening holding very steady. It is going to be a chilly start to our Sunday, dry tomorrow. Not quite as cold, though, as what we've seen this morning. 40 degrees to kickstart the day, right around there. Low 60s by the afternoon as we start to see some sunshine take back over. Total sunshine back in the forecast by Monday. Highs are in the 70s by that point, and then we are already closing in on the 80-degree mark in true Texas fashion by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we'll get you another full look at that forecast, break down those temperatures as well, coming up a little bit later on, guys.
Mia, thank you. And like she just mentioned, the roads are wet and it's cold this morning, and those conditions can be dangerous for drivers. We're having an isolated incident in northern Bexar County.
So our Devin Karp right now is on Highway 281. This all started earlier this morning around 7 a.m. when we started seeing problems out there. Devin, I see you're on the road already. How's it looking out there?
Hey, good morning, guys. We are over here a little closer inside of San Antonio right now. We are on 410, just getting on over to I-10 eastbound over here. We're going to check out what TxDOT says is an incident that happened over here on I-10 westbound near Hildebrands. We're trying to make our way there, but I can say for sure right now, so far these weather conditions are much more favorable inside the city. So far when we've been driving down, coming down 281 onto 410, now on I-10, we have yet to see some of these isolated icy incidents that we heard some reports of over up past on 281 near 1604, but so far things are looking pretty okay outside this morning. We do still have those slick roads, so again, if there are any drivers heading out and about, make sure you're being very careful with what's going on around here. We're just going to check out another one of these cameras here, and so far things are looking okay over inside the city. Now if you're headed out today, especially on the north side, you're going to be going out so far, just make sure you're keeping a good eye on the conditions, especially the drivers around you. So far, the one major accident that we did see that was on 281 southbound coming into San Antonio, it looks like that one was in the final clearing stages. So far, seems like we're doing okay out here on some of the roads. Again, if you're going to head out, practice a little bit of caution. Make sure you've got some extra time for your destination. Keep an eye on the drivers around you, and you should be okay. I'll go ahead and I'll send it back to y'all now. From here over in the route, I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Devin, thank you. A Northwest Side Barbershop that prides itself on giving back to the community, now hoping someone will help them out. They're asking anyone who has information to talk to police. After their business was burglarized this week, this is West Ave Barbershop. Owner Orlando Muñez walked into broken glass and stolen goods on Thursday morning. In all, about $15,000 worth of cash and machines were lost.
And then I don't know how much was the ATM itself, you know what I mean? Because that was a whole monitor with a monitor side that scans the tickets, gives you the money. So it was a good grip. They got us good.
Munoz says he has 16 cameras inside and outside his shop, but the people responsible, they cut his power. So he has no video of the break-in, and now he's asking for the public's help in finding those responsible. If you have any information, call San Antonio Police.
And a Texas DPS traffic stop over a broken brake light included a call to ICE immigration for help. That's what Antonio Cruz saw and recorded on his phone right outside Jackson Keller Elementary School. The woman who was stopped was picking up her kids from school when troopers pulled her over. Cruz says he's not used to DPS troopers in this part of town, and he felt compelled to see what was going on. So he pulled his phone out and recorded what was happening. The troopers left shortly after. It turns out the woman has a pending immigration date and is the mother of a newborn child. Cruz has a message for other immigrants in our community. Don't give law enforcement a reason to stop you.
Make sure your brake lights work. Make sure your car at least have insurance and registration. They can give you a ticket for no driving license, right? But if you don't have a criminal record, there's nothing you should be afraid of.
And we don't know if any citation was issued, but we do know that DPS has been authorized by Governor Abbott to assist federal immigration agents with arresting migrants with active warrants. Now, the governor's office says 5,400 arrests have been made in Texas so far. We asked DPS if they've increased patrolling in city streets, and this is what they said, quote, "We can confirm that these additional DPS personnel are providing an increased posture in Bexar County as well as other counties to address this and all public safety priorities. These priorities include, quote, cracking down on violent crime, gangs, illegal drugs, and human trafficking, and ensuring that drivers are driving safely and obeying traffic laws."
Okay, our next edition of Know My Neighborhood takes us to one of the largest neighborhoods in San Antonio. We're talking about Stone Oak.
And we're going to be covering multiple aspects of the North Side neighborhood, which has a very large population. But for our first story, we are focusing on something that most of us might have noticed. The medians. They're very green. The neighborhood has more than 80 landscaped island medians that cover 58 acres.
You drive into Stone Oak and you just
know it.
Yeah, median after median. So they're impeccably landscaped, maintained with conservation in mind. Beyond the aesthetic, though, they also serve as a labor of love for the residents.
People have said, well, why don't you just pave the medians and the traffic would get better? That's one alternative. But that's not what our homeowners want.
And over the years, they've been transformed to use as little water as possible and remain an example for other neighborhoods in the city. On Monday, you can catch Justin Horn's story about the neighborhood's conservation efforts.
I look forward to that.
All right, time right now, 9:39, 33 degrees out there.
Still ahead, our SA Live team shows us a local ranch that's making a difference for exotic animals and going viral while they're at it.
And folks in San Antonio sending their well wishes to Victor Wembanyama after his season-ending injury with a great big card. Garrett Berger shows us his citywide Get Well Soon next.
And as we take a look outside with live cam, very cold, very damp to kickstart the weekend. Tomorrow, a little bit nicer. We'll get you a full look at that weekend forecast after the break.
All right, a lot of folks on social media and our comment sections have been sharing their well wishes for Victor Wembanyama ever since we learned about his injury that's leading him to be out the rest of the season. We're sad about that.
Our Garrett Berger hit the streets of the Alamo City to talk to all of you about this, and let it never be said that San Antonio has no heart. Check it out.
Spurs superstar Wemby is out for the season, so we took to the streets to let you wish him well.
How do you feel that Wemby's going to be out for the season, that he's not well?
It's sad.
We definitely need Wemby back. You worried about him?
I won't say I'm worried about him. I'm hopeful that the Lord will have mercy on him and bring him back.
I guess he's just kind of a beacon of San Antonio now.
It's awful. I hope he's back on his feet soon.
We're from KSAT. Cheer Wemby's out.
He's out?
Yeah, deep vein thrombosis.
I'll be down.
Want a sign?
Yeah, sure. We'll do red for the marathon.
Yeah.
Get better, Wemby. Call me.
What do I think? I think it sucks.
What do I think about him being out? I'm heartbroken. I mean, he is the most exciting guy in the NBA.
Welcome to Burglary. How can I help you?
Hey, could I get a large sweet tea and your signature on a Get Well card for Wemby?
Wemby's out. He's out for the rest of the season. We're from KSAT. We're doing a get well card.
Really?
Yeah, you want to sign it?
Hey, Wemby, I'm drinking for you, man. Get better, get well fast. We want you back.
He's gonna make it. I have faith.
Okay, so backstory behind this. This was Garrett's idea. He
was given the assignment.
It's amazing.
And he came up with it.
And he made the card, and then he delivered the card yesterday to the Spurs at the Rock. He dropped it off there. So hopefully, Wemby, you get our card, and
we need to see a picture.
I think so too. We need to see a pic.
Yeah. Because just know that San Antonio, we're lighting your candles, we're praying for you. We got your back.
Yes, hope for a very speedy recovery with that one. All right, speaking of recovery, temperatures starting to recover after a very, very cold morning. Of course, it's still going to be chilly into this afternoon. We've seen some freezing drizzle across parts of the San Antonio area, mainly north of 1604. We're talking northern Bexar County and points north up into the hill country, even out east where temperatures managed to dip down to or slightly below 32. Temperatures are gradually starting to warm, though. You can see this photo sent in from our friend Skywatcher via KSAT Connect. A little bit of ice on the deck rail, but it's already starting to melt. So I think conditions will really start to improve over the next couple of hours as all of our reporting stages really start to climb above 32. Right now, though, still holding on to that over in Seguin, Gonzales, 31 in Canyon Lake, 32 in Bernie, as well as Bulverde. Comfort, though, now up to 33. So starting to rise a little bit. Really a lot of that light glazing that we saw this morning was on those elevated exposed surfaces. So mailboxes, street signs, deck rails, car windshields, things of that nature. That will start to melt here over the next couple of hours. But where we still do have some of those sub-freezing temperatures, a little bit of a light glazing still possible with some of this freezing drizzle. 281 near Bulverde. Most of the roadways are going to be fine. We've just seen a few issues, those untreated bridges and overpasses this morning, and we'll still keep tabs on that. But for the most part, I do think roadways will start to get better here, especially by lunchtime. It is still damp, though, in San Antonio. Even out east here, we have just some liquid patchy drizzle, some light rain falling across Wilson County, parts of Gonzales County, Guadalupe County. So give yourself some extra time to get to where you need to be. You'll likely still need the windshield wipers here and there with some of that mist out there as well. As we head into the afternoon, we'll keep an isolated rain chance in the forecast, mainly east of I-35. We'll start to dry things out later on tonight and especially by sunrise tomorrow. Still holding on to the cloud cover, though, first thing tomorrow before we start to see the sunshine return. So today, damp morning, cloudy and chilly in the afternoon, a high temperature near 40. Afternoon sunshine returns tomorrow. That will help our temperatures warm into the 60s. And then notice next week we'll be warming back up into the 70s. You can see that here on your 7-day forecast. 74 by Monday afternoon. Total sunshine. We're already back near 80 degrees by Tuesday and Wednesday ahead of another weak front that arrives by the second half of next week. Temperatures not nearly as cold as what we've seen with this past round of fronts. By the way, quick check at your pollen count for this Saturday. Molds and elm both present, but like yesterday, the good news is they are both low.
Okay. I am officially going to take all of the pots. Well, no, I'm not going to do it. My husband.
I was like, no. You don't need to be lifting heavy
all
things.
the potted plants out of the garage sometime this week.
Yeah.
It's here.
I would say
sun is coming out.
What we've seen these past couple days is going to be the coldest air for the winter season. So we're going to be trending still a few fronts, possible here and there. But for the most part, the coldest of the air is behind us.
Great news. Thanks, Mia. Time right now, 9:48, 33 degrees out there this Saturday.
Coming up, caring for exotic animals and going viral on social media. SA Live will take us to Wanda's Wee Zoo. That's next.
I've been around animals since I'm 3 years old, have always loved animals. Everything I've done has revolved around animals.
Wanda Goldberg is all about saving the unsavable animals here at Wanda's Wee Zoo, located in the Texas Hill Country.
As far back as I can remember, I've been animal crazy. Probably more animal than human. And if you ask anyone who knows me, they will probably verify that.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot.
But way back in 1992, I was Miss Saskatchewan Rough Rider. I'm living in Canada. and I was doing an interview with our local newspaper. And they asked me a bunch of questions. And one of the questions they asked me was what kind of visions I had for my future. And immediately I said, at some point, I want to have an animal rescue, an animal rehabilitation, something that works with animals. That's what I want to do. And that was way back in 1992. So fast forward to now that I have Wanda's Wee Zoo, I just never envisioned it to be in Texas and it to be exotic animals. That's kind of different. But
a little curveball there.
Total curveball, but here we are.
The goal is to provide a safe environment for animals to heal. We'll basically get her through this next storm, make sure she's nice and warm and snuggly, and then after that she'll go home. So she's in the baby bodega. And so this is baby Cookie, and it's Kooki, so the Cookie. And she had to come in because Mama was very, very ill and couldn't raise her. And so the trick was that she's a 2-week-old baby, Mama raised baby, out on a lot of land, so wild. So the trick is to get her on the bottle or the bucket, but keep her safe in the process, but earn her trust. The nonprofit has gone viral with over 80,000 followers on TikTok. And this giraffe video right here, over 32 million views.
So everybody's given gifts. Everyone's given a special gift. And I truly believe that my special gift is to bond with animals, and that because I feel that I'm so much like them, that I'm just kind of one of the herd. So when I come in a stall, they're like, oh, it's that lady that she's one of us. So I work almost exclusively with Exotic Wildlife Veterinary Services, Dr. Brittany East. I do work for other people as well, but it seems like she has so many animals coming through because her business has grown so much. She has 2 other vets that work with her, Dr. Gully and Dr. Love. She has an amazing team, Ian, Colby, and Kerrigan, that work for her. So even though Wanda's Wee Zoo is a very, very, very small nonprofit, our tentacles are kind of far-reaching as far as the help we get. So the animals that come through, it's constantly evolving.
Some of the animals, like Duffy the goat, get to stay and live on the ranch. This goat is so friendly, but Wanda was told he wouldn't make it after getting pneumonia and suffering from a cleft palate.
So he learned to eat and drink out of a bowl, and as you can see, he's thriving quite well. He could probably go on a little bit of a diet, but he's 4 years old now, and he's on the Miracle Wall at Kendall County Vet Clinic.
Today, she welcomed a Purple Heart recipient to tag along for this experience.
And so when someone with a new set of eyes comes in and they go, this place is magic, I'm like, oh yeah, it is. I kind of forgot because I got so stressed out in all the day-to-day. It's like, you're right, it is magic. And so it helps me to help them.
And we were able to capture a very special donation.
I'm here today because I wanted to thank you for not only the stuff you do for our veterans community, but also the animals. I mean, because I'm a big advocate for animals. I know you were talking about sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Purple Heart Project brought you a little something today on behalf of the Purple Heart Project.
You
to make
did
a contribution.
Not. You did?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for everything you've done.
Today's donation will help Wanda continue to follow her passion. The former stuntwoman and former Animal Planet talk show host doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon.
My promise to every single animal that comes through is I will not stop fighting until they ask me to.
You're gonna make me cry. My goodness, my goodness. Oh, I love that though. We need more people like you in the world.
You can keep up with Wanda's Wee Zoo by following on social media at Wanda's Wee Zoo.
There's something magical about animals. Animals can get something done for a person that no human can.
Oh my goodness, what a great story. Well, SA Live airs weekdays at 10 a.m. right here on KSAT 12. You can scan the QR code right there for more arts, culture, food, and fun. The time right now, 9:56, 33 degrees out there. We'll be right back.
All right, temperatures gradually continue to warm. It is still going to be very cold into this afternoon. Seguin now up to 34. Bulverde above freezing now, just barely at 33. A few 32s still out there, Bernie as well as Canyon Lake. That's where we could still see a little bit of freezing drizzle over the next hour or so. Otherwise, it's just damp out there, so be careful out there on the roadways. 40 degrees our forecast high temperature later on this afternoon. Overcast skies, coat weather from start to finish, isolated afternoon rain chance, drying things out by tomorrow, a little bit warmer into Sunday afternoon, and then even warmer by Tuesday and Wednesday. High temperatures back near 80.
Time to plan some indoor activities for today.
Yep. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Mia. Hey, don't go anywhere because Texas Eats starts right now.